two, one. Okay, welcome to episode one of one episode because never doing this again of Honey on Ice. It's sweet. You know, okay, forgot the slogan already. But yes, my name is John, and this is my co-host Isaac,
Thank you. Glad to be here.
aka my long-term best friend slash brother that I've known for all my life.
Yep, seems pretty about right. Yep.
Oh, it's a little bit far, but for this podcast, I guess we will be talking about our high school experiences, starting from our freshman, going into our sophomore, junior, and then ending with our senior.
I feel like,
Because boy, is it a roller coaster.
yeah, especially because we have kind of different experiences. Mainly because we're kind of like very different people, and plus I graduated earlier than you did,
Yes,
so
because you graduated. Come on, just because you started school,
it was what it is about it.
you're still like 5'4".
All right, nobody wants to go walking around looking like
Well,
Goliath from David and Goliath, bro. I'm telling you, like reaching the skies, like what for? Like for what?
okay, David. But to start off, we will be talking about our freshman experience. So something we can both share together. Same fun time.
Well, so basically, I started. Um, I was obviously academically really well. I was very kind of I was kind of really smart. Although I was very on the social side, I was on the lesser scale, not really good with social things. Maybe because I was homeschooled before I entered.
How long were you in school before that?
I was
How long were you in school? Public school.
um well, I'd only been in public school for maybe about up until the seventh grade. Because before that I was homeschooled. I was always like I was homeschooled up until seventh grade, and onwards I did my own thing. You know what I mean? But when it comes to education wise, obviously, homeschool is a bit more different. Like you usually get further ahead, but it's also really easy to get further behind. Um, but I managed well, and it was a bit of a different learning experience, kind of. So it was a bit of you know a juxtapose of what I was used to. So that was kind of jarring, you know what I mean? Like obviously the social aspect was the hardest part.
People, it's also where we came from, very different from how the people are down here in the big city. It was weird. It was more stereotypical. I felt like stuff you see inside movies and all that.
Like what? Like what are you talking about?
We had the popular kids, the divas, and the nerds.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I
No,
didn't.
that conflated. That's I remember that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I don't know. Like I felt like kind of like I didn't really. I don't feel like I didn't feel like I fit into where I fit in like into like anywhere. Like I had just had you. It was like you, me, and Priscilla, and I didn't really like conversate or socialize too much outside of that.
Yeah. I mean, we had some encounters, I guess you could say. Like, that one where that kid with Christian. Oh no, that wasn't that great. That was middle school.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't exactly be in the middle school. You know what I mean? Homeschool.
Oh, Johnny Boy.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Him.
Jonathan, yes, Johnny.
Yeah, Jonathan.
Barrel
Uh,
Boy.
yeah,
Oh,
Vero
I
boy.
almost forgot about him, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. I actually ran into him not too long ago. Like
Really, he still
literally.
goes there.
Oh no, no, no. He lives in Rawls now. I saw him at like a college expo or yeah, a college expo or something like that.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How was your class experience in ninth grade?
What? For what?
Yes.
No, no. No.
Yeah, yeah.
Like class. Like class experience.
How was your class experience in ninth grade?
Oh, okay, okay, okay. You meant like class. Okay. you know, like I was always like I said, I was always good education wise. I made pretty much straight A's, you know. At that time when I was a freshman, like I said, I think I said I was in the top 15. Um, you know, like I wasn't like the smartest, you know.
Definitely different how I was.
But you know, like I enjoyed learning. I love it. It's one of my favorite parts about school and why I loved it so much when I was younger. It was easy for me to soak up knowledge. You know, I would, if I needed to ask a question, I'd raise my hand, and I always asked them because I was curious. I needed to know things. So you know, I was a bit of that egghead. You know, like that's just who I was. That's just what I did. Well, like that's what I did. You know, not everyone did.
Yeah. What was the class that we had together? I know we had art together.
I think that was the only class that we were in. Like, I can't remember any of the classes that we were in.
I think that was the only class we shared.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure that was the only class we shared.
And mm,
Well, um, well, we had
yeah,
English
but that
together.
wasn't ninth grade, was it?
No, no, I'm pretty sure it
No, it had to have
was.
been.
Yeah, like because we had Mr. Hanel.
Was that his name?
Yeah, Mr. Hanel.
I swear, man, it was a tall white man, honest.
Yeah, I guess so. I thought he was kind of boring. He was really boring.
Right. Honestly, that teacher I had before in ninth grade, that English one, that tall white man I talked about, he reminds me a lot of the teacher. Yeah, he was more. Well, didn't he say he was supposed to be a college teacher or something like that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He was he originally worked for a college
yeah.
and then came
That's what I
here.
always like. It's like nothing against him or his teaching method. He was good teaching method. I did like the books he recommended and all that. It was just it didn't feel like ninth grade experience.
Like I don't know, it just didn't like he was trying to teach seniors like I mean not seniors, freshmen in like a college way and like I didn't think that was right.
Yeah, I always had like
I just thought it was kind of weird, you know what I mean? Like don't get me wrong, he's not bad like a bad teacher like actually no, he's a bad teacher. Like I don't
but personally, I out of the teachers, I would say he wouldn't be bad at teacher, considering that I did have an experience with a certain teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we both did. Yeah, that's first period.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
don't know. I prefer that over what I had after I came down here. I had Spanish one year for first period and stuff.
Man, you in
But
Spanish, man. Like
speaking of that teacher, what was her name again? I always
uh
thought it was a Z, right?
Miss Cepeda. Yeah, Miss Cepeda.
Zabeta, Miss
Yeah, yeah,
Zebra.
yeah, yeah, Miss Zebra. Uh,
She still be dude. Oh, well, Isaac, the magnificent, smart
yeah.
creature that he is,
Thank you, thank you.
was passing in top 15 of the grade. I, on the other hand, had experience with Miss Zebra that kind of messed up my ninth grade year.
Yeah, like
And that was the way I did math was not to her liking. As Isaac said, we learned differently. Especially me, I was a mental math kid, so I did not like writing on my work at all.
and
And Miss Z did not like that.
uh yeah, and I like I guess for me since I was homeschooled, I guess it was a bit it was like it was kind of really much instilled in me to write down. Like even though I was on like a laptop a lot, it was instilled to write down all of my math problems because it was like my parent it was very stern, you know what I mean, about my education, me getting better and progressing, because usually in in like homeschool and stuff like that, you either progress really
Right.
fast or digress really slow. Like it you gotta find your kind of like momentum in it, but I always like they always like although I'm a mental math person, I always gotta write it down. I always have to just in case.
I guess the major difference between our school years really start after the start of second semester. I was technically even at Fordham High School during the second semester. Okay, so I guess the start of my second semester would have to go a little bit back in the first one when I had a meeting with the principal, Miss Zebra, and my grandmother about how I was in ISS too much and they were tired of me and all that. So what they did is they sent me to an alternative program called the DAP. And the best thing I can relate it to in San Antonio terms is Estrada. Is basically what it is. So what DAP is it's an alternative program. When immediately as you go in, you get pat down and you get scanned like a metal detector. Like I have to cut out a lot of cuss words. And after you get pat down and search, you give up your phone and all that, any electronic devices. You tap your shoes, take them off, tap them together upside down, and then you go into the gym because that's where they had the tables for breakfast. That's where the workouts got done, and that's where we sat at every morning and every day after uh, the DAP was over. Was the gym in the bleachers. It was an 8 hours school day, like normal. Only difference is we got out at lunch because we started earlier than other schools. We started around 6 and we got out around 12, 1 o'clock. I don't know the math between that. Don't ask me. Yeah, because I know it was 4 workout periods and then 4 class periods, and each one was an hour. I don't know how it works. I honestly don't understand it now when I think about it. Because, as I said, the time I got there for the AP, you remember how early in the morning I was there? So it was from that time after we got there, which is a 25-minute drive from Florida to Plainview, to from that time till around, okay, maybe not lunch, but maybe around like 1, 2 o'clock. Because we got out before y'all got out at Florida. All I knew was around lunchtime for y'all every time. It was around lunchtime for y'all. That's I'm like, I don't know, but yeah, it wasn't bad. I would honestly say I would have preferred staying there if I was given a chance again and graduating from there because it was, as I said earlier, it was an 8 hour class. It was an 8 hour school day with 4 hours of working out and 4 hours of class periods split up in rotating segments of you morning breakfast, go to your first period class, go to your first workout after an hour of first period class, go to your second period class after an hour of workouts, repeat, repeat, repeat until the end and the last workout of the day. And that was a 4 week program that they sent me in the first time I was ever sent to the AP. Wasn't the last time, but I would like to know your experience in those first 4 weeks of second semester.
Uh, well, to be honest, well, obviously, you were gone a lot, so I didn't really like hang out too much or talk to too many people. Like I said, like I did have Priscilla, but I only had really had Priscilla in like, but I didn't have Priscilla in any classes. I technically only had her in tutorials.
Mm.
That was about it. So I was alone for most of that time. I just did what I always did: stayed quiet, did my work, tried my best. it was really all the same. I made straight A's. That's all I could actually really do. So I had nothing else, nothing better to do. So that's what I did. Um, if I, just stayed home, didn't really do much.
Oh, you're working.
Uh, and like I guess like nah, I don't know, I don't know. But some things were a bit different from you, I guess, in that category. Like I was doing a lot of more work. I didn't like doing work at home. I did it at school and during passing periods during all that time. So I didn't even want to talk to people in the first place. So like, and plus it didn't really matter to me what I did. So I just enjoyed doing what I did. But because I liked learning and stuff like that.
Yeah, I honestly, I guess that's another difference in high school experience. 'Cause I moved to Highlands in my sophomore year, but by the time I got here, it was too late to register. So it was a 2 week delay on my registry into the school. And unfortunately, there wasn't much availability on the classes. Really, though, I don't regret the classes I took. I took agricultural and art. Though I'm not much of an artist, I don't mind art. Those chat. That's a memory. But yeah, I got out of art after that year, but I like the ag class. My teacher was a white man named Mr. Rogers. It was a really cool dude. Honestly probably one of my favorite teachers I've ever had. One of the best. Definitely top 10. He was a dope dude. I think he transferred the year after. But aside from that, in my sophomore year, the I had a math teacher named Mr. Morales, I think. He was a bald man, talked like a drill instructor for some reason, always yelling. I he was weird. I passed his class because one, it was algebra one, and even though I didn't pay attention in my ninth grade year, I still did algebra and EAP, so I still knew some of that stuff. And so, yeah, it wasn't a hard. Though then again, he wasn't. I'll be honest, he really wasn't a good teacher because the way he tells one thing and one thing only because in his words, exact words, these will be the main questions you get on that uh story test thingy, and these will be the ones you will need. So those are the ones you just focused on. Which honestly, every year after that confused the hell out of my math teacher. Every time I talk about it, it's funny. They were like, "How did you?" I was like one of the only two people because there was only two of us who passed that math test that year out of his class, and I was one of them. I was that student. He was the only one. I was that student that he would use as an example of a good student, and that was the only time I was ever like that. Get into your ego. Oh, don't forget, you also have a major boasting ego. Uh-huh. Mister, I stand every hour and a half. Yeah, you take an hour and a half out of your day just to stand in front of a mirror. Hmm. Yeah. Oh, but It was that same teacher, Mr. Malice, who told me about something he had, which is crazy because that same day there was a shooting threat, a school shooting threat. Yeah, so there was that going on right after he told me. But also the thing he told me was that in a class period before he heard about some kids saying they wanted to jump me, which was confusing because at that time I was really just thinking to myself. I had a group of people that I talked with, but that was in my eighth period. And outside of that, we barely talked. But that's another story I'm gonna talk about eighth period. But yeah, so that day I got threatened to get jumped, and then there was a school shooting that, and then I went to my art class and just sat there for a little bit and chilled.
I'm like, I don't know. I didn't do too much, but I didn't hang out too much around like I said. I don't hang out around people too much, or talk too much. But like it's just because they're weird, dog. They're like I don't know. They're always up on like I don't know. They're strange. They're always on you. They like I don't know. They're very handsy. They're very touchy people, and I'm
I
like,
think it's a
bro,
small town thing
bad.
because
Like, bro, they're
no one's
very
that
handsy. They're
touchy down
very
here.
touchy. Like, bro, chill, dog, chill,
It
bro.
has to be a
Like,
small town thing
I'm
because,
telling you, weird.
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Everyone's like, they want to be like, hey, hey, friend, give hug. I'm like,
Like,
get back. Yeah, exactly. Get off me. Why you walking up on me like that? But yeah, they definitely a thing down here
yeah,
in the big
um,
city.
yeah. Every single time I think about it, I think about freaking Aaliyah. The one time she like came up to us and like was all like I don't know if you remember her or not, but like I do. She just came up to us and was like, "Oh, these are my two best friends, Isaac and John." And I'm all like, "Bro, I don't know you, dog. Like I don't like, bro, I'm not your friend." And like they seem like
Oh,
like I'm not
yeah.
gonna lie, they seem like really distraught and upset. And it's only like a kind of like, bro, like I'm not gonna lie, it was like it was kind of funny, but like they seem so distraught.
No, no. What she expected is us to be like, "Oh my God, it's Aaliyah, the popular chick." Yeah, get away from her, dude. Who are you? But as I as I mentioned, I had a group of people I talked to in my eighth period, and the way we met is the best way you can ever meet people, and that is over a game of. Okay. No, no, that's the best way to meet a good guy friend. This had two chicks in it, so it didn't really work. It was me, Jazz, Munchie, and White Boy. Just White Boy. That's all I call them as. I do know their names. I will not say names because who needs names? What are you, the feds? After we got put together in a table group, or not even. It was White Boy who had a card of Uno's and started a game, and we met over that. And what we do every eighth period, we played Uno. Did we get our English work done? Yes. Yes, we did. Did our English teacher love us? No, she did not. Why? Because one, she hated cussing. Two, she hated loud conversations and any interruption in the class during any point. And three, she was just old. And this teacher's name Miss Pulaski. Oh, it's Willow Thailand. After that, language. Oh, fucking but she quit after that year. But so one experience I got from that group is one day, well, me, Jazz, Munchie, and Whiteboard were doing our normal thing, and then middle game, you know how games Uno go though. You know, you get Uno, you get +8, but we played with rules of stacking, jump ins, and if you got a +2 and I got a +2, we going hand on hand with tennis match, or we going merry-go-round until someone ending up with +20 at least. We going band for band basically, and if you ain't got enough bands, you out. So that's what we did. Things were saying, names were called, mothers were insulted, grandmothers were insulted, ancestors were insulted. Goddamn, I think I called white boy a Nazi at one point, but it was fun moments. It was hectic moments, and our teacher hated every moment. But one moment especially was one day in eighth period. We were in the middle of a game, cussing each other out, calling each other names and all the normal fun antics of Uno. And our teacher is just done, and she is done with us and our antics and everything, and telling us to stop cussing and all that, and she breaks down crying. Yep, the second time ever in my school career history, whatever, that I have ever had a teacher cry in my room. Probably the third, maybe. But yeah, we made a teacher cry. That was that was my sophomore experience. The junior experience was roughly the same. School shootings, bomb threat. Oh, I forgot. It is. It's Highlands, and Mr. Pear will understand this. Also, I saw a man wearing a maid outfit, but that I did not get a picture, unfortunately. But it was on a staircase, and it was a crazy way to start the morning. But for junior year, for me, I would say would be the start of my skipping career because I had first period Spanish. I don't like Spanish. I no habla español. Exactly. I leave it to the Spanish people who speak. I leave it to Spanish people who speak Spanish. I speak as English sometimes, but I went to my Spanish class. I had Spanish the year before, Spanish one. I passed some way somehow. This was my Spanish two, first period every morning. I have to be there. Forgot the teacher's name, but I'm 90% sure he was gay and he flirted with me one time. But that was probably maybe. It was a very weird thing of him just giving me his phone with a really weird Colonel Sanders tweet. And me just questioning on like, why did you hand me this? Why did you do this? I was talking with a homeboy. But yeah, that's I think I was there most of the first semester, and then after six semesters, really when I started skipping. Every morning I
I
would
guess during
be
like
somewhere else
my
than
junior year
where
compared to my sophomore
Spanish
year, I
was.
was way more
Anyway, everywhere
out
but
there. I
where
was a lot
I
more,
was supposed
way
to
more
be,
social.
which
Way
is
more.
Spanish class schools. I hated it. I'm not gonna say how because this is going to Mr. Pear. Hi, Mr. Pear. Yeah. Oh, junior year. I guess also same as you. I was more social. This was mainly in the second semester. Uh, I was in an Explore program in both my junior and technically sophomore year with a teacher named Mr. Knowlton who left after junior year. And my dog. Uh, I'm a puppy. But he was a good teacher. He was a good instructor. He was a cool dude in general. Love Mr. Milton. Probably also one of the best teachers I've had. But
Arizona
one of the
edition,
things from that
HEB
was
Mexican
my
Bird of
small
Paradise hand
program,
soap,
which introduced me
and
to
it is the best in the round. Keeps your hands soft,
anatomy,
and it is on sale for
which
$2.99.
comes major
Thank you. Have a good
into
day.
major play in my senior year.
We interrupt this program to bring you
About maybe go a little bit into how senioritis hit me in my senior year, and how even though it hits hard and it like real tiring towards the end, yeah, we're almost there. Just like push through it, some shit like that, because I can go into like just go into the subject of, because from personal experience and from seeing just how it goes, from just letting senioritis take over, it's fun, but it gets boring, and ultimately it's just not worth it
Yeah,
because the
yeah,
high
I
school
know
diploma,
what you
even
mean about the
though
senioritis thing.
you may not
I
think
kind of
it
fell off too
is,
myself a bit. You know what I
it's
mean? It's more
more useful
like I don't know. It really hit me, especially in the
than
like
you
second
may think,
semester.
especially if you want to get a good job quickly and, well, legally. I'm trying to think. Well, that's senioritis and the skipping. And then working is what got me just smoking more and accepting the culture of, yeah, this is my people and this is my thing now. And going on to senior year, um, is my personal experience of senioritis and how it hit me. Senioritis would be one of the biggest effects, or have one of the biggest effects out of everything of my high school or school experience ever in my life. Mainly because of the decisions I made and actions that I took because of it. Um, Going into my senior year, I was working at a part-time job at McDonald's. Not bad hours, usually from 5 to 10 on weekdays and from 2 to 10 on weekends. But was doing like four people different jobs at the same time, and then as well with some conflict in my personal life going on at the moment when I was going into my senior year. So I wasn't as motivated. So going into my senior year, I wasn't as motivated as I usually am about school. Because don't get me wrong, I've never been one about education or school in general, really. I didn't really like it. I knew the purpose and I saw you know, I understood the reasoning for it, but it was just, I didn't really like the way I was ever taught. It never really seemed right. I always questioned it. So after I went into my senior year, I just went in. First couple weeks were a terrible way to start. My first period teacher was there for the first week of school and then left after that. And we had a temp teacher every other week. So I was already getting tired of that. And I would commonly, very, very often, skip that first period, which would be on most days, which were 8 days, a 3 hour class. If and then on B days an hour and a half, and I would skip both and then show up at my third period or my fifth period, depending on the day. Or I would just show up at lunch, or don't show up at all. skipping was a heavy thing, and that's also fed into my senioritis and decisions I made. So after that, it went down. Ultimately, it ended with me dropping out of Highlands for 3 months and just doing nothing and just leaving it all, which was fun at first, but it got boring. Which don't get me wrong, I bet there's plenty of people who could say a million different ways on how they could be having fun. But it was more so I tried a lot of ways, different ways. Maybe not every way that people would say, but most ways probably. And while they were fun for the moment, it also got boring after a little bit. And ultimately, I decided that going back to school and finishing up what I needed to do and getting a high school diploma to get a good job and get some good money coming in was the best thing to do in the end. And ultimately just said
Kind of like
screw
differently from you.
senioritis
Senior
and all
itis
that
didn't really
stuff.
affect me in
I'm just gonna finish up
my
what I
first
need to
semester as much.
do
In my first semester, I
so
was
I
actually,
can get what I need done
really go
and
getty, really
just move
ready for
on with my
stuff, really
life,
ready for school.
which
Except,
is something I wish
senior
I
year, I
knew
learned
way
one
before.
harsh thing: it's boring. There's not much to do. All the learning that I did in previous times were pretty much useless. They were not. They were null and void. They weren't important anymore. Um, and I'm someone who thrives on learning. I love knowledge. It's one of my favorite things. And during my first semester, it was a bit more learning compared to like the second semester, but it's not as much as I was used to. And I like I said, I love learning. That's also like around the time where really boring. Um and that was also around the time where I started, getting into where I got into my relationship, and then, we dated for
Yeah,
8 months, and then
I feel you on that.
during my
It was the
second half
same
of my
way for
semester,
me.
that's when I really like fell off and really started to feel that dread of going to school, the dread of going to do anything anymore. Like I really like didn't want to. My girlfriend broke up with me, and that made it even worse. I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to do nothing, and I just grew the mentality. Oh, if I'm not gonna if I'm not gonna like learn anything, why go at all? And if I woke up late, then I was like, might as well not go, you know. And I ended up having to make up hours. I didn't have to have too many consequences because my grades were still good. But I did bump down from 8 to number 10, so I graduated top 10 as number 10, and that was really upsetting. But it is what it is. I can't change that. It's already too late for me. But who knows? Maybe I'll be better in the future. But it was really upsetting for me personally, and um, the senioritis I feel like does really get really did get to me, I guess. And like it dug in deep because I didn't feel like the same person that I was at the beginning of the year, and it definitely felt different. Yeah, this is the guest host doing the outro. Mainly because I kind of jacked this up. Yep, Mr. Top 10 himself, jacked up this recording. So basically, I recorded it on my laptop because it would be a lot easier, and I was gonna send it to Big Boy John over there to edit it edit it. Sadly enough, I did not record my audio. I did record his, not mine. So if the audios kind of don't match up fully, or they seem kind of kind of weird, it's because I dubbed over what I said, and I don't fully remember what I said. So things might there might be a bit of discrepancies. Also, I'm gonna leave off on a good note. Um, Ice with Honey or something like that. I think that's his name. Uh, but sweet but smooth. What can I say? I'm just that kind of person. And always be good. Always wear a seatbelt.